Thank you. There's nothing that gets to me quite as strong as reading your letters and trying my hand at helping you folks with your problems. Would you start the first letter, Ruth?
Well, Norman, I know this first letter won't sound like an earth shaker, but there's a teenager from Southern California whose job is up in the air because he doesn't want to wear a tie. He writes, "My boss, who's got a reputation for being a real grouch, told me the other day he'd fire me if I didn't start wearing a tie. Now, if I were some kind of executive or something, I could see his reasons, but I work in the mail room. I say he has no right to tell me what kind of clothes to wear. Still, I'd like to keep the job. What should I do? Tell him where to get off? Or buy a tie?"
Oh, that's easy. Buy a tie. Buy 3 or 4, in fact. Now, I don't mean to sound cruel, but I think you're in the wrong. First of all, people who want to keep their jobs don't immediately threaten to tell off the boss. You just don't do it that way. You yourself point out that the job's at stake and over a trifling matter. The whole key to successful business is knowing how to give in on the little things and standing fast when vital principles are involved. Now, if you're an ambitious youngster, I suspect you're aiming to get out of the mailroom and into a position where that tie will be worn quite naturally. So, better get in practice right now. We'll return with another letter after this message.
This must be office problem day, because our next letter is from a Philadelphia secretary. "Dear Dr. Peale," she writes, "I've fallen in love with the office manager at the place where I work. We've been seeing each other for 6 months. I recently took him home to meet my parents. When my boyfriend told them he was of a different denomination from my family's, the temperature at the dinner table dropped to 0. How can I patch things up?"
There's an awful lot you left unsaid in your letter, young lady. Important things. Because your beliefs and his beliefs will color both of your attitudes toward life. I'm not saying you must think, talk, and act exactly alike. Of course not. But your beliefs must be compatible. How can you patch up things between this boy and your parents? You can both do this by demonstrating maturity as well as infatuation with each other. You can be patient. You can show consideration for your parents' feelings as well as your own. And incidentally, I'd search and make sure that this question of religious differences wasn't the only thing that turned that dinner table into an icebox.
You're absolutely right, Norman. I would like to discuss this question further, but our time is up for today. We'll be back, though, next Friday with more letters. I'd like to hear from you, so please write to me, Mrs. Norman Vincent Peale, care of this station.